Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Ever stop and think about that really fine line between, say, soaring ambition and just crushing overconfidence? Like what happens when one of history's most powerful figures, someone who seems totally invincible, just pushes things too far and bam, faces this unexpected, devastating defeat.
It's a classic story, really.
Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into. We're exploring the dramatic fall of Marcus Licinius Crassus, one of the wealthiest men in ancient Rome, and the shocking Battle of Carrhae.
Yeah.
We've pulled together some incredible material, really vivid stuff about ambition, strategy, and a pretty powerful reckoning.
And what's so fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just, a dry military history lesson.
Right.
It's really a deep study in hubris, tactical genius even, and those brutal shifting tides of power. So our mission, like always, is to pull out the key insights from these accounts, helping you understand not just what happened, but why it mattered so profoundly to Rome and well beyond.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Crassus's ambition. We're starting in, 53 BC?
That's right, 53 BC.
Picture this. Maybe sunrise over a Roman camp way out in Syria, legions getting ready, and at their head, Marcus Licinius Crassus.
Not just any Roman.
No, exactly. This guy's loaded. Richest man in Rome, maybe, and a key player in that first triumvirate, the big three, Caesar, Pompey, and him.
That incredibly powerful, though unofficial, alliance.
But, for Crassus, all that money, all that political clout, it just wasn't enough, was it?
It really wasn't, no. Despite the immense fortune, the political standing, the accounts we have paint a pretty clear picture. Crassus, he yearned for military glory.
Like Caesar and Pompey had.
Exactly like Caesar and Pompey are getting. He wanted his name carved in stone, a great conqueror. We're told he's in his war tent, crimson banners all around, tracing maps, and his target's clear. He apparently said it in Latin. Parthia est gemma capienda. Parthia. It's a jewel just waiting to be seized.
Wow. A jewel waiting to be seized. That really says a lot about his mindset, doesn't it?
It does, almost like it's low-hanging fruit, an easy win for glory.
Yeah, just grab it. But even then, right at the start, there were warnings. Signs of trouble that, tragically, he ignored.
Absolutely. His own general, Gaius Cassius Longinus, a really seasoned guy, a veteran, he voiced some serious caution.
Okay.
We read that Cassius advised him, actually in Greek apparently, something like, we should wait for reinforcements. He saw the risks.
Sensible.
Very. But that kind of cautious wisdom, it was up against Crassus's just burning ambition. And, ambition won out, unfortunately.
And it wasn't just Crassus pushing, right? His son Publius, described as having blood full of youth and valor, he was egging him on.
Oh, definitely. Adding fuel to the fire. Apparently demanded, Pater, ducum asiam. Father, let me lead the vanguard.
Ah, okay. So it's that classic thing. Experienced caution versus youthful eagerness. Impetuosity.
It really is. And Crassus deciding to press on, just ignoring Cassius's advice, it's a stark example of how ambition can just drown out prudence entirely.
Right.
You can almost see it, can't you? The Roman legions, red banners flapping against the sand, crossing the Euphrates, and maybe far off, a lone Parthian scout just watching from a dune. Silent.
Ominous.
Very. It wasn't just a bad call. It was this profound miscalculation, all driven by personal glory, a massive first step towards disaster.
And as they crossed, our sources say, Crassus, up on his horse, all proud, shouts out to the legions, Gilites, Gloria Parthiae nostra erit, soldiers. Parthia's glory will be ours.
Declaring victory before a single arrow's fired, basically.
Pretty much. What does that tell you? About his confidence or maybe desperation for fame?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, Roman generals did that sort of thing, right? Inspire the troops.
Sure. Standard pep talk.
But with Crassus, the narrative kind of suggests it came from a real misjudgment. He just didn't rate Parthia, underestimated their specific strengths.
Like they were nothing.
Yeah, and that speaks to a sort of common Roman failing back then, maybe. A belief in their own inherent superiority, no matter the enemy. A belief that was about to get, shattered at Carrhae.
Right. He wasn't just motivating. He was projecting his own hopes onto this enemy he didn't really understand.
Exactly. A formidable enemy, as it turned out.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for me. Rome's marching, all gleaming armor under this blazing sun. But Parthia, they're not just waiting around.
No, not at all. They're watching, silent, calculating.
What do we know about their side?
Well, we get this incredible glimpse into the Parthian court. Ctesiphon. The descriptions mention walls shining with gold and turquoise mosaics. You get a sense of this ancient power, this desert kingdom used to dealing with invaders.
Okay.
And King Arrodes II, he's there, draped in royal silk. And his assessment, pretty shrewd. Delivered in Aramaic, we're told. Rome marches blind into the sun.
Blind into the sun.
Yeah.
Wow. That shows they knew the terrain, their advantage.
Oh, absolutely. They knew the desert was their greatest ally.
And the key figure for them, militarily, is General Serena,
That's so.
described as a young nobleman, but with his unmatched command of cavalry tactics.
Mm-hmm.
What strikes you about him?
It's his calmness, isn't it? The accounts suggest this, like unnerving resolve. His strategy was chillingly simple, devastatingly effective.
Which was?
Let them come. The desert is our ally. Simple as that. He wasn't going to play by Roman rules, legion versus legion.
Right. Different game entirely.
Totally. And beyond the palace walls, the prep was relentless. Parthian horse archers, training constantly, galloping, shooting with lethal precision.
And famous Parthian shot.
Exactly, the shoot and spoot. They could keep up this constant barrage of arrows, then just melt away, forcing the heavy yeoman infantry to break ranks, get exhausted chasing them.
Smart.
We even hear about a young archer supposedly scoffing, "Their armor will melt before our arrows." It wasn't just bragging, it showed they understood their strength against Rome's specific weakness. Heavy infantry in the heat.
Meanwhile, back with the Romans, that terrain is already biting hard, even before the battle proper starts.
Yeah, the accounts mention soldiers dropping from heat stroke, exhaustion. Just the march itself was brutal, a grim foreshadowing.
And Serena knew this.
Oh, it directly informed his plan. His tactical intent was grim. He's quoted whispering in Aramaic again, "We strike them from the shadows."
Strike them from the shadows.
Chilling. It's not just a command, right? It's their whole philosophy of war here. Strike unseen, use the environment, control the engagement. They weren't going to meet Rome head on. They were going to dismantle them, piece by painful piece.
So the two forces finally meet, these two very different armies, near Carrhae.
Yep.
And the sources, they don't pull any punches, do they?
Not at all. They flat out say it was not a battlefield. It was a trap.
From the get-go.
Pretty much. Publius Crassus, the sun, still full of that youthful fire, he leads the first charge. Sword raised, rallying cry, ad arma pro Roma, to arms, for Rome.
Playing right into their hands.
Exactly the kind of direct, predictable move Serena was waiting for, had planned for.
And Serena himself, where was he?
Watching. From afar, apparently. Orchestrating everything. We're told he used this fan, gilded and elaborate, flicking it to signal these complex cavalry maneuvers, silent commands.
Wow. Like a conductor.
In a way, yes. And his tactics. Devastating. Split them, encircle, let none escape. The descriptions are just visceral.
Yeah.
Dust swirled. The desert screamed. Hooves pounded the earth. Parthian arrows fell like rain, darkening the skies in waves.
Unbelievable pressure.
And crucially, the thing that usually made Rome strong, their heavy armor, it became a curse in that heat.
Right. Weighing them down. Exhausting them.
It really highlights a key insight, I think. True military genius isn't always about having the bigger army or stronger armor. It's often about understanding and exploiting your opponent's core weaknesses.
And Crassus's legions,
Yeah.
built for that head-on fight.
Were totally helpless against this mobile, arrow-based warfare they just hadn't prepared for at all.
You can almost feel the desperation setting in for the Romans. There's a mention of a scander bearer crying out, "Tinulinium! Hold the line!"
But the line couldn't hold. It buckled under that relentless, almost invisible assault.
And then Serena gives the final order.
Yeah. The decisive command, barked in Aramaic, "Open the circle now." That move just sealed it, trapped them completely, turned any attempt at retreat into a massacre.
Oh, man. And Publius. The sun.
A final desperate act led one last hopeless charge. His defiant words echo. Ad arma, vincimus aut moriamur. To arms, we conquer or die.
And the outcome.
The accounts are stark. They died. Simple as that. There was no conquering.
Just death.
Carrhae really was, as the source puts it, not a battle, it was a reckoning. That summary hits hard, doesn't it?
It does, because it's not just about casualties.
No, it's about the complete shattering of Roman military doctrine in that context, a huge psychological blow. It exposed vulnerabilities Rome hadn't really faced before, forced them to rethink everything about fighting these Eastern empires.
So night falls on Carrhae. What's this scene like?
Grim. Roman torches flickering among the dead. just silence and devastation, and that ultimate symbol of Roman defeat.
The eagle standard.
Right. Once this mighty symbol of Rome's power, now just lying there buried in bloodied sand. Gone.
In Crassus, what's left for him?
Defeated. Weary, he makes this final desperate plea. Agit, negotiamus, aut peribimus. Basically, come on, let's negotiate, or we all perish.
Any chance?
Serena's response, cold, resolute, let him come, but he will not return. Just chilling, absolute control, no room for escape.
And then there's that weird bit, the mysterious element.
Yeah, the oracle.
In the Parthian camp amidst the tents and warriors, this oracle whispers, the eagle falls, but the lion stirs. What's that about? A prediction?
Seems like it. Hinting at future events, maybe Rome's eventual response. It adds this layer of mystique.
So Crassus's final moments, how do they play out?
Described with real tragic weight. He goes into Serena's tent, eyes hollow, just carrying the weight of this colossal failure. His plea in Latin, duc me ad Surinam, pax aut mors. Take me to Serena, peace or death. The historical record's pretty clear. He found only one of those outcomes.
Yeah.
A complete, utter end to his ambition. Everything he marched out there for, gone.
And as silence falls over the desert again, that prophetic voice echoes one last time. Oh, that's Greek, right?
Yeah, the eagle has fallen, but the lion awakens.
So pulling it all together, what does this disaster mean? For Rome, for history?
Well, it shattered more than just legions, didn't it? It broke that illusion of Roman invincibility, especially out east.
It's a huge shock to their system.
Massive. A seismic event. It hit the Roman psyche hard, impacted their foreign policy for centuries. And from the wreckage of one man's, unchecked ambition, the accounts say the seeds of vengeance and rebirth were sown.
It also had immediate political consequences back home, right? Losing Crassus.
Oh, absolutely. He was the balancing force, the money man in that triumvirate. Losing him created this huge power vacuum.
Between Caesar and Pompey.
Exactly. It basically accelerated their inevitable clash, fundamentally changed Roman history by knocking out one of its three pillars.
Wow. Didn't think of it quite like that, but yeah.
And long term, Carrhae kicks off this long, costly rivalry between Rome and Parthia. Centuries of conflict, a constant reminder of this defeat. A hard lesson in the limits of power, even for Rome.
What a story. Okay, so let's recap this deep dive. We've seen the just devastating cost of ambition when it's not checked by prudence.
Hubris, really.
Yeah, and the incredible power of strategic foresight, like Serena had, and just how one single battle can completely rewrite history.
It really underlines how vital it is to truly understand your enemy, understand the terrain, understand yourself before you commit.
And those final lines about Rome's reaction, they stick with you, don't they?
They do. For Rome does not forget, and lions, once roused, do not sleep again. Speaks volumes about the enduring legacy.
So, something for you, our listeners, to think about. Consider how even the most powerful entities, ancient empires, modern organizations, whatever, can be brought low by overconfidence, by a failure to adapt. What does that awakening lion really imply for Rome's future? And maybe what does it suggest about how great powers bounce back from their biggest defeats? That's something to mull over.
And perhaps, as you think on that, consider other moments in history. Are there parallels? Other times when a single pivotal event caused such a profound shift in power dynamics, there are definitely more stories like this one out there waiting, each offering its own perspective on that tricky balance between power and vulnerability.